Gen Zs and millennials are attending church more regularly than boomers and older generations now. So it
Wow.
has inverted, where you had
That's
these cultures.
beautiful.
I wonder if because we've if you think about it, you see, like, I was in LA, you were in LA, we saw, like, you see porn stars living lavish lifestyles, being in mansions. You see all these famous people, they have cars and private jets, and I'm not saying all those things are necessarily bad.
No.
They just are physical things.
Right.
However, it is absolutely a mask of what's really going on in that person's life. Like, I saw
Always.
behind the curtains just like you. You see, oh, these people they cannot keep a partner for more than a year or two max. They're miserable. They
cheat,
don't want
you know.
kids, or they just don't know what direction that they're going. But yet they have millions of dollars and all this success. And that's been my
Right.
point all along. After seeing behind the smoke and mirrors of it all, is it's not about this materialism. So do you kind of feel like that's part of why the Gen Zs and the millennials, like our generation, is waking up, because we've consumed so much social media that we're kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know, this doesn't feel like it. I mean, why do you think this is happening, especially amongst younger men? But I mean, we're seeing it in general. I think we're seeing this massive awakening to church and faith happening.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think speaking from my experience, so I was kind of just told, like, you don't need, like, life is about a spiritual pursuit. That's kind of what I was told. And the pursuit of that was enlightenment. So what mattered was spiritual highs, mystical experiences, communion with the angels, whatever, because I'm trying to reach some state of being. The problem with that is that if that's your mode of life, along with make a lot of money, why would you ever prioritize a relationship? Why would you ever sacrifice for somebody you love? Why would you ever, seek anything other than what you want? You wouldn't. And that's exactly how I lived. And, I fortunately won the money game. I made a lot of money. I was making millions of dollars by the time I was like 26, 27 years old. And it didn't really do anything for me. I sabotaged a relationship because I essentially chose success over love, because internally I was told, like, this is the meaning of life. Like, no partner can complete you. It doesn't even matter. Like, you should be totally happy on your own. And sure, there's some truth in that, right? But God makes it very clear he wants us to multiply. He wants us to have family, and he wants us to be in healthy, committed relationships with a man and a woman. Because again, this is a pathway to God. If anyone's ever been in a relationship, it's the ultimate, like, quickening process to spiritual development, because you have a person in your face all the time reflecting to you all your bullshit. It's like, and the church understands that, the church understands that. So God created marriage so that people can elevate spiritually. So again, the new age kind of takes all these things and perverts it. It's like, oh no, you should have multiple partners. Oh no, you should, give into all these sexual pleasures you have, and none of it's bad or wrong, and it should all be about freedom and liberation. And it's
Yeah.
like, I think young people, they're getting older now. Millennials are getting older, and they realize, like, no, this model's deeply flawed, deeply flawed. So men in the society, at least the way I see it, are usually the ones that carry things spiritually, not in a way of like the household, but the way of culture in society. Like, if you look at kind of households and like what they believe politically and religiously, it's almost always followed by what the man believes. So if like a Muslim marries a Christian man, the woman will usually become Christian at some point later on. And they'll, if he's conservative and she's liberal, she'll eventually probably become conservative. So, I think inherently men know, like, we are the drivers of society, that masculine kind of outward energy. We're going to make changes, like whether it's in policy and, religion and evangelizing and these things. So I think there's just like an inkling, or like it's almost built into us. It says in the gospel, the law of God is written on our hearts. So I think both men and women can feel this, but the execution of men, it's a little different. It's very like action oriented. It's like, let's really make the world a better place. Where the women, the approach, at least in my perspective, is a little different. It's about like the household and like keeping things in structure there in like a feminine way. And the masculine is like, no, we got to like build infrastructure so that things can get, right, So yeah, I think people are just, I think it's a spiritual thing going on. I think people are being called by God in such a interesting way, and I think you hit it right on the head when you said that people are realizing like social media and the internet and spending your life on these platforms is not life. That's not life. This is just a tool, but the tool is not God, and there's more to it. There's more to life, and life is about what you can contribute. It's about family. It's about God. It's about loving your neighbor. So you can use social media as a tool to like accelerate these ideas, but social media, fame, power, status, this cannot become your God. And I think just more and more people are waking up to that. In such a big way, at least the way I see. Like I really have a prediction that in like the next 5, maybe at the most 10 years, there's going to be like check-ins for your phone. Like you go to a restaurant, you check in your phone. You go to church, you check in your phone. You go out to a club, you check in your phone. Because we are human beings. We are meant to be in communion with each other. This is so obvious. Another reason why I love Orthodoxy. There's such an emphasis on fellowship and communion after church. Like on Sundays, people hang out at church sometimes 3 hours, eating, talking, and being humans. And guess what? They're never on their phones. So there's something deeply human about that. And I think people are just craving it, which is also why I think people are drawn to Catholicism and Orthodoxy, because there's something in the structure of the church, the way it looks. Like you had that experience in Ukraine. Like it's a reflection of God in your soul, your heart, whatever, your mind. It's drawn to this transcended thing. And yeah, it's on our hearts. We want to worship God properly. It's innately inbuilt.